What's up, everybody? JP here with the Leprechaun Fantasy Workshop, coming at you again, second time of the day. And if you were following us earlier this morning when we were live, yes, I did go out and have dinner with my mom. So she started dropping comments live, which is fun. So again, sorry for starting out later than normal 8 o'clock, but hey, if mom asks, I'm gonna do it. So, as I mentioned before in the live stream earlier, we're gonna do a live resin pour. We're gonna do one is our terrain piece for. I did this earlier. I don't know if we did this in the live stream, but this is our Doors to Erebor. I'm sorry, Doors to Moria model, and I do think we painted this live because I think I linked it. You check through our videos. I'm pretty sure I post on this one, but I wanted to have resin for this front part here, in front of the gates for the black lake. So I'm going to use this as an overcast. So if I make too much resin, I'm going to use what I've got left for this. But what we're really doing resin for is our prototype for, as I've mentioned before in the live stream, I'm looking to build a custom D&D table that will incorporate a whole myriad of things that I want. I want to have interior lighting. I want to have a drop area that I can do, dungeons and that kind of stuff. And then, like, let's say I build a town. I can build the town on the top, and then under that I could have like a sewer dungeon if the players decide to go into a grade or something like that. So it'll give me some more versatility play-wise. I thought about doing risers, but I like the ability to have players be able to sit at the table and not have to stand up and then look down. If it's dropped down, kind of like a pool table is, with a recess, they can, be in there. I want to have edge lighting. I want to be able to have, I have a fog monster. I might actually get a second one, depending on how it vents. I have to play around with that a little bit, but it's going to incorporate an actual integrated fog machine. For tabletop, I want it to be able to incorporate sound. I want it to be able to charge, computers, that kind of stuff. Long term, I will look to get tablets for all the players, so there'll be actually a tablet station for each player that they can, pull and go to D&D Beyond. I'm not looking, to iPads and all that kind of stuff. But this is a passion project, so. So anyways, what we're doing is we did a cast mold several streams ago of making a dwarven statue, and actually it's right over my shoulder. We made a cast mold of this guy, right? So this beautiful little statue. If you're wondering, well, why don't you just make more of those and, go look, because we did 3D print this. This is from Fat Dragon Games. Lot of cleanup, a lot of, yada yada, and I could do that with other, prints, but I want this to be a feature that does more than just stand there and look nice. So what I wanted to do is essentially, the table's got to be magic. This is a world of magic and mysticism and that kind of stuff. So what I'm looking at doing is doing a resin pour and then utilizing LED lighting. That is, this is sound activated. This is controllable. I can, have this on my side. Hit just like my fog monster. I can hit a button from a remote and the fog kicks in. From here, I can hit a button on the remote and the LEDs will light up on the dwarven statues. They'll be all integrated and circuited. So, as carefully as I can possibly go, here's our mold that we did. It's very beautiful, very heavy. I learned some lessons. Probably didn't use I should have cut the box a little bit better to not use the material as much as I did. But lesson learned, move on. And you can see there's tape going across it, and then these white lines. These white lines are the LEDs. I have cut them, and then I have 2 plugs so that when I put it into the table on the corners, I can have it hook in a century or a circuit around the table to the others, and so they'll all light up on the outside of the table as well. So the interior LED light will be controlled by one remote, and the exterior light will be controlled by another. So I could have the dwarven statues lighting up when, you know, we go to combat. I could have, you know, and if the interior is something on, you know, setting a scene or something like that, we can do that. A lot of ideas. I just think it looks cool too. So we're gonna try that out. I've never done this before. I mean, I've done resin pours. You guys know that I've done several resin pours here. I've never made a mold. We did that live. I've never done LEDs. We're doing this right now. I've never put something inside of resin aside from glitter for for potions. So, I mean, this is one of the things I talk about in this channel. Experiment, try something new. Stop, like, don't be like, oh my gosh, what if it turns out like crap. If this turns out like crap, I'll put it on my bedside and, you know, learn from my mistake and go on and try something else. It's, you know, it's trial and error. That's what everything is. I mean, crafting is one of those things where I used to have, I called it the failure pile. Before this was a studio, this room used to be a spare bedroom in my house. And the bed became what I called my failure pile. And I had probably, I don't know, 6 rolls worth of filament of stuff over years that I just failed, that I just kept on. I always told myself I'm going to grind it up and I'm going to find a way to make the filament. And I found out that's not really cost effective and useful. So, yeah, whatever. So, we're going to get into this. I'm going to do a resin pour. We're going to fill up the dwarven mold, and I do have an overhead camera so you guys can see. I want you guys to be able to experience everything. So, we're going to do the resin pour into the mold. Anything that's remaining, we're going to pour into the terrain. It's one of those things of, I don't like to waste material, especially resin. Resin's extremely expensive. So, there's that. Something else I want to talk about on the channel real quick. We are doing giveaways. I plan on doing giveaways each month. So, dice trays, right now that's our logo. Yeah. But I do have a laser engraver. You guys don't see it very often just because it's on the other side of the studio. And I know the room's not that big, but, I mean, it's one of those things, it's kind of like watching welding. You shouldn't do it. Like, bad. It's bad for your eyes. And you can't really see because it's a bright blue laser. But yeah, laser engraving. So I have an artist that I work with in, you know, for work and also for the channel. That's why I always say we and us. She is working on designs and that kind of stuff. We're experimenting around, so we might be coming out with, you know, different classes and stuff like that. Right now I'm just putting the logo because this is a prototype. I like to experiment with stuff. I do a woodworking quite a bit. So I'm going to stain this. And then either do a clear coat. I thought about doing resin, but resin that doesn't seem like a good idea. I'll just do a clear coat, like a polyurethane or something like that. And we'll give this away. The rule is on this, you gotta be a follower, subscriber, either on Twitch or YouTube. So, Twitch, follow, YouTube, is subscribe. So, if you want to subscribe on, you know, Twitch, thank you, you know, that too. We'll also be doing a giveaway of these cards, the following month. So these are Bolo's Guide to Monsters. I already have this set. I have this bad habit of thinking I have what I have and not knowing what I have sometimes, and double bought. So, I mean, these are still in the wrapper. You can see they're all shiny. This has never been open, and like that. I'm not going to do that kind of stuff. I do have the printing rights to some stuff too. Once we get into having more followers, that kind of stuff, I might start doing giveaways of 3D prints. That was something I thought about doing for the channel, of, you know, printing, giving you guys a review of a print, and then just giving it away. Because, I mean, I pretty much print everything that I buy, and then, you know, it just sits there. So, and I mean, I'm not allowed to sell it, but if I can give it away, you know, there you go. So yeah, there's that. So again, gotta be a follower, subscriber, to be entered in. If you want to subscribe and follow on both, put in twice. Bam. All right. So we're gonna get into the resin. Resin mixing is always fun. What we're using is Art and Glow. I have a gallon here. So this is the hardener, the epoxy, I think yellower, you know. And so it's a 1-to-1 part. I use this stuff. This is what I generally always use. I like this stuff. But although I'm pretty it does say vapor's harmful. It's not. I mean, it's just harmful. So I'm gonna be wearing a respirator. So if it sounds like I'm talking like Darth Vader or crap, sorry. I don't want to die. I like breathing. Oxygen is good. And I highly recommend, if you do use these kind of products, read the safety instructions, follow the safety mandates. It's not a joke. Like, I mean, it'll mess you up. Like, when I do pours, I get lightheaded if I'm, you know, I mean, I immediately put this in another room. It doesn't stay in the studio. I put it in another room that is completely isolated, shut the doors, open the windows, and leave it like that for the next, 24 hours. So, 8 to 10. So we're going to get into it. So I'm going to glove up, and I'm going to mask up, because, like I said, this stuff, although it's awesome to work with, it not friend to you. It kill you. So, yeah. So sorry if I start sounding like Breaking Bad on you guys, but yeah, gotta do it. So, and if you're looking to get, gloves, you can get gloves anywhere. I recommend Harbor Freight for gloves, just because they got boxes upon boxes usually, and they're pretty cheap. And that's actually where I recommend the respirator. I got this from Harbor Freight. If you're in the United States, they're a major tool and supply store that doesn't have a whole lot of things. It has a ton of stuff, but it's all super low price. Yeah, so we're going to get into it. Reminds me of my days back in the Army wearing a gas mask. Alrighty, guys. So, how epoxy works is it's 1-to-1. I put in, if I put in 2 quarts of this, I gotta put 2 quarts of the other stuff. So, I'm gonna put the epoxy first. These measuring cups from Home Depot is what I use. It has measurements on it, so I know what size to use. Let's put that one over there. And let me switch over for camera so you guys can see what's going on. Alright, so we're going to use our resin. I'll put the cap back on that one. So all we're doing, I'm looking at this. I know I already did a measurement of what I need. So I'm going to go in and I want 3. So I can look at this cup and there's my 3 right there. I just need to fill up with this one to there, and then the other one to there, and then stir very well. Just like cooking class, right? All right, so there's our first part. Now the key to using resin is you really have to mix it up. I do not recommend using a drill. Um, just because a drill will put bubbles into your resin. And there's a trick to getting bubbles out. I can't show you that one because I do that in the room that I put the stuff in. But what you can use is a heat gun and just go over it. Some people will say blow on it, but then you're breathing in the resin, right? Even while wearing the mask, I can already smell it. I mean, this stuff is very, very strong. And I mean, it's great, but it's not your friend. Again, making sure this stuff's really well mixed is like the biggest key in my experience. I have used resin before and did not mix it well enough. And it was just it was sticky forever. Like for a year later, I came back to it, it was still sticky. And the way I was able to fix that is I got a can of polyurethane and I just put polyurethane over it several times. And eventually it was like, I mean, there was a coat of hardness over top of it. Because the resin had hardened for the most part. Alright, I think that might be enough. And I can see so many bubbles in there. Let's give it a little bit more just for good measure. I'm trying to pop all these bubbles I can. Okay. And then we go for the pour. So let me move this stuff around so you guys can get a good shot of this. So it looks like we'll have to make more resin. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Alright, let me get this out of here. I'll put it in the other room. And I'll be right back and we'll do the other one. Again, experimenting, right? So we're going to do our other pour here. We're going to mix up another batch, no problem. For that, I'm going to use some of the remaining I have from another project. You know, I want to get rid of it. Is that... See, now that's one of those things that freaks me out. It's not even. So, I do have a couple bottles of resin. So let's start mixing again. Even, I don't want to empty one bottle and then the other, because I can see it's not even. So we're going to see where this takes us. All right. So that's all of our resin. That looks to be just right. I left a little bit of resin in the other bottle. All right. Now for this one, I don't think I'm going to need this much resin. But I just wanted to mix enough to be sure. Because, I mean, those bottles I've had for a while now. You can see how bubbly that is. Alrighty. Now, as carefully as possible, I'm going to try and pour this. Did you guys be able to see? So that's what it looks like right now. Do a bit of a long pour here. I want that to consolidate a little bit. Now in this case, I know I have a bit of resin left, but I'm killing a bottle that I've had for like a year or 6 months, so... But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm going to dump that out, or not dump that out, but I'm going to get rid of it in the right way it's supposed to be. But let me get rid of this stuff, and we'll get right back to you guys to wrap up things. Alright guys, so probably got a big old nose mark on there. So I mean, it's honestly, resin is one of those things where you just gotta follow the right steps. Something that, I mean, just to talk about what I'm concerned about, I'm trying to get all my resin off my mat here. I already know of a mistake I made that you guys might not have noticed. I should have sprayed that mold with mold release. I don't know how that's going to affect. I've never used mold release before. I do have a bottle on my shelf that I bought specifically to do that. So we'll see how that works. Again, a lot of the stuff I do is a first time, first try. You know, we'll see how it goes. How effective are we going to be? As I said before, if not, I'm sure I can figure out the process to make this awesome. But, you know, it's just going to take time and practice. So, yeah. So hit me up in the comments, you guys, if you're like, well, you did that totally wrong. Here's what I would have done. You know, whatever. Let me know. I want to know. I'm trying to learn too. Nothing's, you know, I mean, I'd be an idiot to sit there and go, oh, I know, because I did this or I did that. Again, a lot of this is me experimenting, going on YouTube and seeing other people doing it. You know, you learn from watching other people do it. You learn from reading about it. You learn from trying stuff. You know, I'm sure that amazing things have been made in resin that no one's ever done before because somebody first tried it and it worked out well for them. You know, this dwarven statue, again, this might be a total flop and I turn into a nightlight. Or the light doesn't even work at all and I have to go back to square one. Now, what you guys didn't see before channel started, I tested the lights. Before I even cut them, I tested to see. After I cut them, I tested to see. Did a whole bunch of testing to make sure, you know, because here's the thing too, if I do screw up, now the lights don't work. Now I have to look at, well, the lights worked before, so it's got to be something I did with the resin on them that screwed it up. You know, we'll find out. So, yeah. I don't think that'll be it, but yeah. So, again, I know this is kind of a short video, only 30 minutes, but I mean, it's one of those things of it's a big project. There's a lot of preparation, that kind of stuff in it. You guys stick around for a little bit. I'm going to get some stuff cleaned up, hit those things with the heat gun a couple times, and then I'm gonna probably do a little bit of live streaming on some YouTube, or not YouTube, sorry, of some Fortnite or something. Man. So, give us a follow, give us a like I said. We are looking to do drawings here in the near future. A lot of more things are to come. Like I said, there's a lot of projects going on. A lot of prep work. I did all those trays. Here, I'll pop over so you guys can see. The storage center that I've used for miniatures, that's the picture you're looking at is literally when I first started doing it. That's the second iteration where I started filling them. I'm now on my third row of doing those, and so what I do is I paint those black. So that's what I've been doing a lot of my day today is spray painting those shelves, because frankly they look better in there in black. You know, I'm trying to bring stuff to you guys that's creative and new, and you know, make your D&D rooms better or interesting. Some of it's simple projects, some of it's pretty meh. I mean, this table I'm working on, I'm still drawing up blueprints. I have an idea in my head of what I want it to do, but I have no idea how it's going to look yet. I want, you know, my laser engraver to be involved in it. I kind of want to somehow have 3D printing, which I already have with our good dwarven friend here, Incorporated. Got a lot of things I want to have done. I want this table to be a literal work of art, but I also want it to be one of the most functional D&D tables in the world. And if you're like, well, why don't you put a TV in it? I don't like you. I'm kidding. You can do it how you want to do, but I don't like TVs in my, you know, the blue light and all that kind of crap. I'd rather have actual mats and maps and, you know, that kind of stuff, and then have real terrain that people can see rather than an outline of a building with some squares in it. I want walls. So, yeah. Again, like I said, give us a like, follow, subscribe. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know if we're idiots, whatever. And I will see you guys in the next one. As I always say, let your paintbrush tell your story, or let your pen tell your story. And I will see you guys. Have a safe one. Until next time, I'm JP.